Hello and welcome to WCBN Sports' coverage of the NCAA tournament and Michigan basketball. Tonight we have the number 2 seeded Michigan Wolverines taking on the number 15 seed Montana Grizzlies, coming to you live from Des Moines, Iowa. I'm Alex Strain, joined by Nate Sorensen. Andy Laidlaw will be with us in the second half. We just got done watching Florida narrowly edge Nevada and move into the round of 32. They will play the winner of this game here tonight. It's the Big Sky Conference champion Montana Grizzlies at 26-8 against the Michigan Wolverines at 28-6. One all-time meeting between the Wolverines and the Grizzlies, and that happened to be last year. It's a rematch of last year's round of 64 game. That one was a 3-seed Michigan against a 14 Montana. This year it's a 2-15 matchup. Michigan took it home 61-47. That was an ugly game. Looking for a little bit cleaner play here tonight.
Yeah, really a bizarro game. That was Michigan fell to an early 10-0 lead. Took them about 6 minutes to score in that matchup. And yeah, a little bit different team here now, obviously, for Michigan. They lost Mo Wagner, Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, Duncan Robinson. They're a new look Wolverines here, and this is pretty much the same Montana team that Michigan played last year. They've got a veteran bunch. I mean, this is the best senior class that in Montana Grizzlies history. This bunch has just put together a string of Big Sky. That's the name, right?
Yeah, the Big
Sky Tournament conference titles. A team with a lot of postseason experience and success. Granted, that hasn't translated to a lot of NCAA tournament success here, but I mean, if any team is going to come in, pull off a first-round upset, you would expect it to be a team like Montana, a team with experience, with a lot of seniors who have been here, had a chance to play in NCAA tournament games before.
So just about a minute or so until tip-off between these two teams. They have to announce the starting lineups, and then they'll get the game underway. It's a pretty small Michigan crowd, about the same size as the Michigan State crowd, and then, as usual, a family contingent for Montana, but otherwise I expect another quiet crowd like the first game.
It's a bit surprising. You'd expect Michigan fans to travel well pretty much anywhere you go, but it's tough on a Thursday night this late in Des Moines, Iowa. Not exactly a marquee matchup either. It's clearly a lot of empty seats here so far. I mean, there's still a chance for them to fill out, but not a whole lot of maize and blue in the stands. It's going to be a bit of a quiet one.
Well, by far the biggest contingent today was the Minnesota Golden Gophers. They had a great showing. These two teams and Michigan State, Florida, Nevada, not expected to produce the same kind of potential in terms of attendance, but still the weekend sold out here in Des Moines, which is always good to see.
Yeah, Iowa pretty excited about their basketball. They've got Iowa and Iowa State in both the men's and women's tournament here this year. I don't know. Clearly, it's got fans excited. They've come. They filled out really both sessions here today. It's surprising to see. You wouldn't expect a lot of teams or fans to just come watch, a team that isn't theirs. But big props to Iowans.
So let's take a look at the starting lineups for these teams. For the Wolverines, it'll be the usual: Xavier Simpson, Jordan Poole, Charles Matthews, Ignas Brazdeikis, and John Teske. It's been the same starting five all year except for when Charles Matthews was hurt. When these guys have been healthy, this has been the crew. For the Montana Grizzlies, it's Ahmad Rory at point guard, Timmy Falls at shooting guard, Michael Ogine at small forward, Saeed Pridgett at power forward, and Bobby Moorhead at center. It's an undersized Montana team, and that'll be a storyline to watch in the early going. Rory 6'1", Falls 6'2", Ogine 6'2", Pridgett 6'5", and Moorhead 6'7". Nobody above 6'7" in the starting lineup.
Yeah, not only are they undersized, they're very untraditional, and Moorhead 6'7", not terribly undersized at the 5, but his game is entirely on the perimeter. He shoots 75% or so of his shots from behind the arc. He doesn't really block shots either. I believe their leading shot blocker is Oginwe, who stands at 6'2". So not exactly a dominant interior presence from Moorhead. That comes from Saeed Pridgett, who shoots pretty much exclusively from inside the paint. Shoots that very well, around 67% or so. I mean, he's a dominant force down there, but that's something you can get away with when you're 6'5" in the Big Sky Conference. Definitely has not seen a rim protector of the likes of John Teske, but it's going to be tough for John Teske to be in the paint too often if he's matched up on Moorhead. It's going to be a tough call here for Beeline. Do you put John Teske on the undersized Pritchett, who Teske, frankly, has had trouble playing against those types of guys in the post, but if you put him on Moorhead, and he's out on the perimeter, he's pretty much rendered useless on the defensive end. So weird. We're going to see cross matches for sure here in this game. It's going to be tough for Michigan to figure that out when they're early going, I'd imagine.
These two teams about to break the huddle, and then we will get underway. The first of the late night games here on day one of the NCAA tournament. There'll be 3 others starting shortly after. Purdue and Old Dominion, Syracuse and Baylor, as well as Seton Hall. Those games will be following this one. Michigan wearing the home whites as the higher seed. Montana wearing the maroon. It's customary for the Wolverines to wear the whites the first 2 rounds, then switch to the maize in the next round.
Lots of pink shoes out here. Teske, Iggy, and Poole opting for the pink game look here. It's really popping with those white jerseys. I'm a big fan.
So that'll be Teske at 7'1" against Ogine at 6'2" in the tip-off. This would seem to be easy money for John Teske, but we'll see if Ogine can't pull something out of his bag of tricks.
Ogine is an electric athlete.
And Teske does indeed win it back to Jordan Poole, and we are underway here for the Michigan Wolverines first round matchup in the 2019 NCAA tournament. Jordan Poole over to Brisdakis. Simpson stands at the top of the key, looking to get Poole free, unable to do so. Simpson bounce pass to Matthews underneath. Teske right there, and he had an opportunity and just missed an easy shot. Threw it up under the underside of the basket. Now going hard to the rack is Ogine, and easy contest there from the Wolverines. Now they get Teske underneath. He's going to draw a quick foul, and Teske goes hard to the floor, slamming that large frame against the ground.
I love that Michigan went right back to John Teske there on their second possession. And that first one put it right on the underside of the rim. A tough look for him, but that's going to be an open shot for Michigan here pretty much all night. There is no one inside that can contest a John Teske underneath the basket.
So the foul will go on Bobby Moorhead, the center. Teske, first free throw, rims around and out. Teske is a 63% free throw shooter entering this game. Moorhead, the interesting stat we were talking about before the broadcast, is that he has never missed a game in his college career. A senior out of Tacoma, Washington, a handful of Washington players on this team. Teske misses them both, and a little out of rhythm early for him. We'll see how Michigan sets up in the half court, as that previous possession was an Ogine on the fast break. Now Montana open shot for 3 off the heel, but then an offensive rebound there grabbed down by Ahmad Rory, and the Grizzlies will get another opportunity. And now falling to the ground, it's going to be a travel there called on Ogine. Lost control of his feet.
Well, and Teske is on Pritchett here to start out, and I like that decision, but you can tell it is a bit of a strange matchup. I mean, Pritchett is the same exact listed height and weight as Jordan Poole, and he looks a bit like Jordan Poole with the ball in his hands. It's going to be tough for Teske to move his feet and stay in front of him.
Still no score. Simpson finds Poole off the screen. Poole halfway down and no, but Matthews, the offensive rebound, lays it in. That will be a big factor for Michigan, the offensive glass, vacuuming up those rebounds. Simpson watching him out. Rory. Rory had 15 points in the matchup a year ago. He averages 15 on the season. He finds Timmy Falls behind the back pass for Bobby Moorhead, who was unable to go up with it, so he kicks it back out to Falls. Watched by Brisdakis. Rory to the corner to Saeed Pridgett. Pridgett's going to drive in on Teskey. A hook shot, and it drops.
Beautiful shot there. Not quite the full sky hook that Xavier Simpson shoots, but that's the type of shot Pridgett's going to have to shoot if he wants to keep the ball out of reach of John Teskey.
Simpson harassed by Ahmad Rory, gives it over to Jordan Poole. Brisdakis coming over to set a screen, now bounce pass. Poole to Brisdakis from the top of the key, Money.
Good work by Poole. Not a tough pass there. He got the double, just drops it down to Iggy for the wide open jump shot. That's a shot Michigan will take every single possession.
Rory to Timmy Falls, who kicks it to the corner. Ogine, they got an open shot for Rory. Rims around, no. Brisdakis able to pull down that rebound. Even the wings are going to be a factor for Michigan because Brisdakis is 6'7" and Matthews 6'6". Brisdakis tries to get it into Teskey, unable to do so, tipped around and out of bounds off Timmy Falls. Going to have two quick subs coming in for the Grizzlies. Looks like it'll be Moorhead headed to the bench, as will Ogine.
Yeah, when Michigan struggled in that first round matchup last year against Montana, Charles Matthews was able to take over that game, put up a lot of points simply because he was just too long and too athletic for this Montana team. Now, really with two guys like that, Iggy and Matthews, they should be able to get whatever they want in the paint.
Poole first for three-point look is a little short. He's missed his first two now from beyond the arc. Here comes Pridgett driving into the lane. Iggy gets the strip, but did not touch Pridgett out of bounds, so it'll stay with the Grizzlies. 4-2 Michigan, 3 minutes into this game. Pretty sleepy offensively from both of these teams. Checked into the game now for the Grizzlies are Kendall Manuel and Donovan Dorsey. Timmy Falls passes it around the exterior and double teamed by Michigan. Now baseline, Pridgett, open jumper, missed it. Simpson goes up for the rebound, and running in transition are the Wolverines. They got Brisdakis wide open on the wing for three. A little short on that shot. Michigan starting the game 0 for 3 from beyond the arc, 0 for 2 at the free throw line. Tough shooting so far for the Wolverines. Kendall Manuel had it, passed it around. Now Pridgett on the wing, guarded by Teskey. We've seen a lot of Pridgett so far. Timmy Falls in the corner, now across to Pridgett. Fadeaway jumper, left it short. Teskey collects the rebound.
Surprising that the Grizzlies are going with Pridgett pretty much on nearly every possession when Rory really picked apart this Michigan defense last year in the tournament. He forced 2 early fouls on Xavier Simpson in that matchup.
Simpson to Teskey, who knocks down a 3 on the pick and pop. Teskey struggled by the basket, but able to get his long gun to go right there, and Michigan up 7-2, 4 minutes into this first half. Ahmad Rory with the basketball, watched by Simpson. They're going to try to get it to Manuel off the wing, but Michigan covered it well, so they go right back to Pridgett. Top of the key, hands it off to a shooting Dorsey. His shot way too long. Then Teskey comes down with the rebound, hands it off to Simpson. Simpson comes up with it, quick screen set by Teskey. Going to dribble around with him, tried to get it to Teskey, loose on the floor. Matthews picks it up right under the basket, lays it up, and lays it in. 9-2 Wolverines.
And that's the kind of shot I like to see there. Michigan been settling for that outside shot a little too much here against an undersized team. Charles Matthews should be able to overpower his defender, get in the paint for easy twos like that all game.
Ahmad Rory pulls up on Brisdakis off the mark. Teskey vacuums up the rebound. Montana now 1 of 8 from the field. Simpson's got it, gives it over to Teskey. He's open for 3, and that one a little short. And we have the under 16 media timeout as the air ball goes out of bounds. Our score, Michigan 9, Montana 2. You're listening to Michigan basketball on WCBN Sports and the official Michigan Student Basketball Radio Network.
Well, not too many surprises here so far. Montana struggling on the offensive end, really trying to run everything through Pridgett here. Not a big shocker. He's the leading scorer for this team now that Jamaro Coe is out. He was really the only traditional big Montana had, averaging 16 and 9 on the season. Went down with a Achilles injury in the middle of Big Sky play and really has left Montana undersized here. But yeah, now Pridgett, leading scorer, averaging 16, but not far behind him is Ahmad Rory and Michael Ogunwe. I'm surprised they're not trying to get those two more involved, especially because Rory, really a dynamic scorer, can shoot off the dribble really well. I mean, he shot on pull-up jumpers more efficiently than anyone in the Big Ten besides Cassius Winston, and that's really saying something. I mean,
yeah,
a dynamic scorer. He was able to get some pretty good production against Xavier Simpson last year. I mean, I know that's a matchup not a lot of teams want to attack, but we know that Michigan has struggled against pick-and-roll coverage. Wouldn't be surprised to see Montana try a little bit of pick-and-pop action here, try to get Rory going downhill to pull up in the mid-range. I mean, that's not exactly a shot most teams strive for, but when you've got a guy like Rory who's that efficient from the mid-range on pull-up jumpers, I mean, that's winning basketball for Montana.
Nine to 2 Wolverines at this juncture. An interesting storyline in this game is that much like the previous game we were just watching with the Nevada Wolfpack, Montana, another extremely veteran team. They start 3 seniors, and the first 2 guys to come off the bench, Dorsey and Manuel, also seniors. Pridgett is a junior. This is a team that has been through its fair share of battles. Almost all of these players played in the game a year ago, except for Dorsey, who is and Manuel, both the transfers. But otherwise, it's a team that has seen Michigan before, and they're ready to take them on again.
Well, and you mentioned that it's only the second matchup between these teams ever, but this is the third for Ahmad Rory. He played as a freshman for Oregon back in, I believe it was the 2013 tournament. Is that?
That feels a little long ago.
2013, maybe 2014 tournament then. But I do know for sure he did play. I don't know when it was that Michigan played Oregon in the first round, but he did play against a team. I believe that was a team with like Zach Irvin. Really the old guard for Michigan. Seems like a lifetime ago. But yeah, this is a guy that's been around the block. Teams with this much experience, they can always be tricky in the tournament. So far here, Michigan's taking care of business.
And their defense has looked very strong thus far. 1 of 8 from the field are the Grizzlies. They need to find some offensive consistency against the number 2 adjusted efficiency defense in the country in the Michigan Wolverines. Bobby Moorhead with the ball, hands it off to Ahmad Rory. Eli Brooks into the game now for Michigan, as is Isaiah Livers, and Brooks almost gets a steal there, getting his hand in the passing lanes. 10 on the shot clock for the Grizzlies, and passing it back out. Timmy Falls drives into the lane, lays it up, and off the mark. Simpson able to grab down the rebound. Michigan's got 5 on 4. They go Livers underneath, and he is blocked there, and I think they're going to call a foul on Moorhead. It looks like that would be his second.
Yeah, that's looked like a clean block from up here. We don't have the best view, but that looks like a straight-up clean block. Looking at the replay, Moorhead was pretty upset. I think he's got a good case.
So Livers stands at the line to shoot 2 free throws. Livers swishes the first. He's been Michigan's best and most consistent shooter all year long. Not too far from being a 50-40-90 guy, entering at 50.3% from the field, 78% from the line, 45% from 3. He gets the first, misses the second.
Now, not only has he been so consistent, he really picked up his game in Big Ten play. Had a couple of huge games against Iowa and Nebraska. Or wait, I got that wrong.
Iowa and Minnesota.
Minnesota, yes.
Now there's a jam on the baseline by the Grizzlies. Donovan Dorsey throws it down, and finally Montana back in the score sheet. 10-4 the score. About 6 minutes played here in the first half. And there's a takeaway. Simpson threw it away, and now they're going to get Livers for a foul on the floor. Lazy pass there from Xavier Simpson.
And that's something you're used to seeing out of Xavier, and tough turnover right there. But right now, with Isaiah Livers in as the small ball 5, this is a much more natural matchup up and down here for Michigan. Really not a significant height discrepancy at any point on the floor, and looks like Michigan's playing a little more comfortably on the defensive end, able to switch some of these pick and rolls that Montana's trying.
Pull-up jumper there in traffic by Kendall Manuel. Michigan continuing to play great defense as that one was off the mark. Iggy Brzdakis running in transition, unable to finish at the other end on an open look. Grizzlies grab down the rebound. Neither team shooting above 40% right now, but Montana at a grisly 18%.
Oh, no.
Donovan Dorsey with it outside. Now into the paint is Pridgett. He goes up with a shot off the mark. Matthews able to grab down the rebound. They're going to get an over the back on Saeed Pridgett, contesting that rebound.
I'm going to give that pun a 3 out of 10. 2 on the nose. I admire the effort, though.
Pridgett gets tagged with his first foul. Checking back into the game is John Teskey. Now Michigan going with a big lineup here of Simpson, Eli Brooks, Teskey, Livers, and Matthews to try to exploit this height advantage. Still 10-4. Teskey with the ball, gives it over to Livers. Livers dribbles over to Matthews, to Simpson. Simpson to Teskey, finding Matthews underneath for the jam. Great passing from the big man to find Matthews all alone in the restricted area, and he goes up for the easy dunk. Michigan back up 8, 12-4.
Great pass by Teskey, but also a fantastic backdoor cut by Matthews there. Montana paying too much attention to Simpson in the corner, left Matthews a clear lane to the basket.
Ogine open 3 opportunity, and he missed it. He's a 35% three-point shooter, just couldn't get that one to drop. Now Simpson going to the rack, kicks it to Matthews. Too hot to handle. Moorhead picks it up, kicks it the other way. Open 3 look for the Grizzlies. Nope. And Michigan grabs down the rebound. Montana has opened this game a 2 of 14 from the field. Eli Brooks open on the wing. Got it! And Michigan with an 11-point lead, 15-4. Good to see a guy like Eli Brooks in the rhythm early.
I talked about Isaiah Livers picking up his play in the Big Ten tournament. How about Eli Brooks, what he did in the tournament? Really had an excellent game on the tournament on the defensive end. Also picked up his offensive production.
And there's a shot that finally go for Saeed Pridgett. 15-6, Michigan over Montana.
Especially good to see Brooks pick it up here at the end of the year. And backup point guard spot has been a issue for Michigan throughout this season. Brooks being able to give solid minutes off the bench is really big for this Michigan team.
And there's it wasn't quite the full hook from Simpson, but a high glass floater drops. Michigan leads 17-6, 11 minutes remaining in the first half.
I think it was a hook, but he had the guide hand up there. I don't know if I've ever seen a hook shot with a guide hand.
Pridgett's shot is short. Montana now 3 of 16 as Michigan gets the rebound. Teskey sets a screen. They're going to get him for an offensive foul, moving screen. Michigan with 3 turnovers here in the early going, and we have the under 12 media timeout. Our score, Michigan 17, Montana 6.
Well, Michigan continues the staunch defense and really picking up the offensive play here as well. 17 points, not a whole lot, but 7 of 13 from the field here so far, 2 of 6 from behind the arc. And that's been because they're looking to go inside right there in the early going, really settling for outside shots. And right now they are getting open looks from 3, but not immediately taking them every time. You don't always have to take an open 3 if you've got it. Normally you can take that opportunity to drive in, put pressure on the defense, see if you can make something happen that way. And that's been working out for the Wolverines here so far.
Well, Montana entered this game winning 15 of 18, winning the Big Sky tournament after winning the Big Sky regular season to return to the NCAA tournament for a second straight season and get this rematch with the Wolverines here in Des Moines, Iowa. And we've got the Grizzly mascot doing a backflip, agile.
Doing all sorts of acrobatics out there.
Let's see what his name is. We had Albert the Gator earlier. Oh, he's Monty.
Clever.
Monty the Grizzly.
And I want to look at...
It was pretty funny in the pregame because they always take these promotional photos with the two mascots. And Michigan does not have a mascot, of course. So they got a tuba player from the band to come and be Michigan's mascot and to pose with Monty for the photo.
Yeah, and what they do is they have the two mascots fight. I guess I'm assuming most people are probably watching this at home and have seen the tussle, but if you may have missed it, they have the two mascots kind of fight, and Reggie Miller's standing in between them trying to break it up. Then he makes them play nice with each other. So you had Monty the Grizzly attacking one of our tuba players. Really tremendous content being created by CBS here tonight.
Only the best. We got the Wofford-Seton Hall game up on the video screen. Wofford leads in the early going. That's a dangerous team.
What did Wofford end up overall in adjusted efficiency?
I think they were in the top 20. Let me look. Maybe just outside it.
Definitely underseeded at the 7.
Yeah, Wofford was number 20 in KenPom ratings. Going up against Seton Hall for the right to play Kentucky, who looked awfully good tonight, blowing Abilene Christian right out of the water. All of the elite teams in college basketball looked good today, except MSU in that really shaky game against Bradley, but Gonzaga looked excellent.
And it was hard
Kentucky
to
looks
say.
great. Kansas looks very good.
Yeah, and it's hard to say MSU looked bad, more so than Bradley was just making every three they took there in that first half. But yeah, so far, really shocked by the lack of upsets today.
Yeah, not exactly the madness that we're accustomed to. Murray State Marquette, the only seeding upset at this point in time, and again, that's one that a lot of people probably predicted. At least I heard a lot of people predicting it.
Yeah, 12-5. It's one of those that normally goes to the 12, or not, I guess I shouldn't say normally, but it's not out of the ordinary.
Timmy falls over to Saeed Pridgett as Montana's on the offensive end. They got Moorhead open for three. His shot off the mark. Eli Brooks boxing out there. And up come the Wolverines the other direction. To the corner, Livers, his shot a little short.
Yeah, Montana missed that last three, but you gotta love the offensive ball movement.
Ahmad Rory had his shot swatted there by Isaiah Livers, and then John Teskey able to help clean that one up. Two more misses for Montana. They go into Teskey, swing around, Brooks, Simpson, back to Teskey underneath. Teskey goes up, lays it up, and lays it in. Michigan 19-6 lead. Montana, one of their last 9 from the field.
Wow, that's beautiful unselfish play there from Michigan. John Teskey gives it up, double team down low. Ball ends up finding its way back to him without a single dribble being taken. That's the kind of basketball you like to see.
Saeed Pridgett with the ball, gives it off to Ahmad Rory. He slows down, throws it for Pridgett, off Pridgett's hands, and out of bounds. Another turnover. That's the second of the game for Montana, who have started 3 of 19 from the field.
And this is especially difficult for Montana because they simply could not get a three-point shot to fall, and they're not a bad three-point shooting team. And they've gotten some pretty good looks. Their last three-point attempt came from Moorhead there after the ball moved around the perimeter. They found an open look for him. Based off that great ball movement, they just couldn't get it to fall, and those are the type of shots you have to make if you're going to pull off an upset.
Teskey comes back off the floor, Poole on, Livers open three. He missed that one. Michigan pretty cold from beyond the arc, 2 of 8 to start. Timmy falls out of control in the lane. Shot off the mark. Michigan quickly rebounding it. Eli Brooks goes rumbling down the court. Puts on the brakes. Will look to get some help as they're also giving Simpson a rest. Eli Brooks playing the point. They got Brisdakis underneath, but Moorhead closed out well and unable to corral the rebound, though out of bounds off Montana. Michigan will inbound with a fresh 30 on the shot clock, unless they choose to reset it, which they might. The referee is walking over to the scorer's table. Referees tonight: Jeff Anderson, Greg Nixon, and Larry Spalding. They do not choose to they do reset it, don't choose to review it. Michigan inbounds it in. Eli Brooks. Brooks dribbles around, gets a screen from Livers. Matthews with the ball. Dribbles in the paint, and that one is taken away by Bobby Moorhead running down the floor, and his jam is off the mark. Just a little too strong, and Michigan's got 5 on 3. They get Livers underneath. Great passing. Matthews kissed the glass and in. And Travis DeCure is going to take a timeout as Michigan leads 21-6. Montana just cannot buy a shot right now.
And that was a bit of a showtime pass there by Livers on the dish to Matthews there to set up that easy bucket. But, yeah, tough for Moorhead right there. I mean, he had the wide open fast break, but he was looking over his shoulder. And when you're looking over your shoulder, that's going to happen to you, especially.
And a great job by the Wolverines, knowing the 5 on 3, using the passing lanes. Brzdakis to Livers to Matthews, easy lay-in. Michigan cruising right now, 19-4 run over the last 9 and 28 after it was a 2-2 game in the very early going. Montana 3 of 21 from the field. Oof.
That's the only word for it. And as I was saying that about Montana not being a bad three-point shooting team, it may have been an underestimate. They're ranked 30th among Division I teams. I mean, that's out of about 300 teams or so. That's a pretty high mark, shooting 38% from behind the arc. That's a pretty good clip. I mean, granted, Michigan ranked 5th in opponents' three-point field goal percentage at only 2.8 or 28%. One way it's got to break, but so far it's been in Michigan's favor. I don't know though. Montana hasn't necessarily only taken contested shots. They've been able to get some good three-point looks. It's just tough to get into a rhythm when you're playing against a team like Michigan. Then Michigan on the other end, I don't know what you can say, and it's good to see Charles Matthews out here. He's had the strongest performance so far, I would say, on that end. He's got 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 4-4 shooting, and really all of those buckets have come inside the paint, him going to the rim. We know that was kind of a specialty last year. It's what made him such a successful scorer, what made people think he had NBA potential, and so far this year he's done a whole lot of fading away. He really has fallen in love with kind of posting up and taking fadeaway, almost Kobe Bryant shots.
Yeah.
Not quite as successful at them, though. And it's good to see him get back to that. Attacking the rim, really utilizing the length and athleticism. Really overpowering Montana here, and that's what he should be doing.
.8:23 remaining in the first half of action. Michigan 21, Montana 6. It's been all one-sided right now. Michigan shooting 53% from the field, Montana 14%, and that just about sums it up. Michigan 2 of 8 from 3, Montana 0 of 6 from 3. Michigan only 1 of 4 from the line. They could be up a couple more points, but they've left some at the stripe.
Yeah, one of those being missed by Livers, normally about as safe a bet as you can get on this team from the line. And John Teske, 0 for 2, not the greatest free throw shooter, but would expect him to at least split the pair.
Ahmad Rory with the ball out of the timeout. We'll see what Travis DeCure told his players. There's an open 3, but off the mark. Good offensive rebound by Bobby Moorhead, skying up to get it back for the Grizzlies. Another opportunity. Timmy Falls guarded by Xavier Simpson. Simpson checking him well. And a great job by Timmy Falls to battle through excellent defense and fill it up 21-8. That's the first score in a while for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, Falls going right. Tries to get the step on Xavier, just is not able to. Tries to fake him out, spin left. Xavier saw it coming, was right in position to contest the shot. Falls just made it with some contact.
And there's a takeaway by Timmy Falls. Another turnover by Xavier Simpson. Falls' layup is no good. Michigan had 3 back and now up the other way. Poole to Brzdakis for the jam. Alley-oop. Michigan has 3 back on defense and 2 up waiting for that alley-oop opportunity. Michigan back up by 15. They've made 6 of their last 8 from the field. That 3-pointer way off the mark, and we're going to have an over the back on Jordan Poole.
And I don't know how that can be over the back. Jordan Poole had 2 hands up straight in the air. He's about straight up and down.
It was a great job to box out underneath by Montana.
And Poole kind of conceded that one, didn't really try to go after the ball. Iggy was the one actually in there fighting for the ball. A puzzling call there. Maybe a bit of a makeup because on that fast break before the alley-oop, Falls going to the basket, there was some contact between him and Simpson. They both ended up on the ground. It's kind of what freed up Michigan to get on that fast break, get that 2-on-1 easy alley-oop there for him. And I love to see Michigan, a team really a slow-paced offensive unit. They really don't run out in transition all that often, but they've taken their chances here today, really put up some fancy highlights here, not characteristic of this Michigan team.
7:10 remaining in the first half as we hit the under 8 timeout. Montana 4 of 25 from the field, Michigan 10 of 18. The Michigan defense has been all you could ask for in the early going. The offense has left a little bit to be desired, but it's been pretty strong. So you take a look around college basketball. Wofford continues to lead Seton Hall in that game, and Baylor and Syracuse locked in a good duel right now. Baylor 20, Syracuse 19. Old Dominion Purdue just underway in that one. It's Wofford 30-18 over Seton Hall at the moment, 5.5 minutes remaining. One of the great things about this event has been how much they have been willing to show all of the other games. Anytime there's a break in the action, halftime, commercial timeout, in between games, whatever NCAA tournament game is closest, they put on the Jumbotron.
That's genius.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Yeah, especially nice when you're able to have one game going on your laptop up here in press row while one's up on the Jumbotron and you got one out in front of you. It's I highly recommend it. If you ever have a chance,
yeah,
I gotta say, take the opportunity.
This is the sort of unfortunate circumstance of when you have a team timeout followed by a regularly scheduled media timeout. You get a lot of standing around and very little action.
Now Montana, 5 on the floor right now. We're standing right around the midcourt logo. No coaching going on, just kind of standing there, relaxing.
Seen a full day of action here in Des Moines. First it was Minnesota notching their, I believe, only their second tournament win in the last 20 years against Louisville in the early game. Then Bradley giving MSU a really good run for their money, followed by a very competitive game between Nevada and Florida that the Gators pulled off. And now this is the final of the Thursday session here in Des Moines. Out of the timeout, Grizzlies with the ball. Saeed Pridgett dribbles to the key, then hands it off outside to Rory. Then to Manuel, drives inside, lost it, stripped, and Simpson takes it away. Michigan running in transition. Simpson throws on the brakes, finds Matthews, and there's going to be a foul under the basket on Manuel, reaching his arm around to harass Matthews.
That's a good foul by Manuel. If he doesn't grab Matthews from behind right there, that's going to be an easy slam again for the Wolverines. And Michigan, again, keeping their foot on the gas pedal, pushing it in transition, getting easy buckets.
Jordan Poole at it baseline, kicks it out to Iggy Brisdakis. Michigan settles down the offense, 20 on the shot clock. Simpson battling against Ahmad Rory, gets a little screen from Livers. Over to Poole, throws on the brakes to Simpson. 7 on the shot clock. Simpson over to Matthews. He's got 5 on the shot clock, got to shoot it. He's going to fade away jumper from the baseline, and he swished it. Charles Matthews knocks it down, and Michigan leads by their largest mark of the game, a 17-point edge Just over 6 minutes remaining. Rory, step back jumper, bingo. Pretty looking shot, put Isaiah Livers on skates and knocks it down.
Yeah, that's the kind of shot he can make. He's one of the leading scorers in the Big Sky Conference, earned first team honors, and that's because of his ability to make shots just like those.
Isaiah Livers hands it off to Charles Matthews. Matthews dribbles under the basket, lays it up, tipped around, no. Brisdakis pokes it out of bounds, and it'll go to Montana. But really doing a good job is Charles Matthews, getting to the basket, looking rejuvenated.
Yeah, he sure is, and couldn't get that one to roll in, but he had a very tough weekend in Chicago, even as the team was thriving in those early matchups. He was not able to really get a whole lot going on the offensive end, just looking like he still had a lot of rust due to his injury in the late in the year there.
Rory dribbled in the paint, and then they kick it out to Moorhead, shooting a three, and they're going to say Brisdakis fouled him. That'll be 3 free throws coming for Bobby Moorhead. I didn't see the contact. You'll have to watch the replay.
It was definitely well after the shot was put up.
Moorhead, a 65% free throw shooter, 0 for 1 on the day at the line. And the first one is too strong. Montana just struggling in every facet right now. Moorhead's second is too soft, and now he's got one more remaining.
Yeah, that's a
on the verge of coming up empty at the stripe.
Textbook example of just thinking a little bit too much.
And he finally gets the last one. So 1 for 3 at the line is Bobby Moorhead. 25-11, Wolverines on top of the Grizzlies. Simpson comes up with the rock. 5:15 to go. Quick screen from Teske. Simpson looks to get it to Teske, and that one's taken away. They've got Rory running down the floor. Poole coming up from behind, and Rory lays it in. That is now the 4th turnover on Xavier Simpson.
Yeah, in Chicago in Big Ten tournament play, Simpson was playing the floor general role to perfection. He had double-digit assists twice. I really was doing whatever he wanted with the ball.
There's a great pass to Brisdakis, who is fouled by Ogine. One of the big things is that Simpson's having trouble getting it into Teske. That's something we've seen in the matchups against Michigan State. Michigan just never feeds it to Teske, and so they really struggle in both the entry passes and Teske catching him. That was a good feed from Simpson to find a cutting Brisdakis, who draws the foul. Iggy will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, that's a good point. And while Xavier Simpson is the kind of guy that always seems to make the right decisions, that's part of what makes him a great point guard, but doesn't exactly make a whole lot of flashy passes. Doesn't really have that pocket pass down, which is what you need to feed a guy rolling to the basket.
Brisdakis makes the first. He's about a 75% free throw shooter. Second one drops as well. At one point in the season, he proclaimed himself the best free throw shooter in the world.
One of.
Yeah, that is correct. 27-13 Michigan. Montana with the ball. Timmy Falls passes it around. 4.5 remaining in the first half. Falls standing outside, now gets it in to find Ogine. They kick to Saeed Pridgett in the corner. He goes around Teske to the rack, lays it up, and lays it in. You see the hesitance from John Teske to really pursue the perimeter. Pridgett's a good three-point shooter on low volume, but he's chosen to try to take it to the basket. 12-point Michigan lead. Simpson to Poole. Going to dribble around Falls. They're going to get Falls for a hand check. It'll be the 6th foul on Montana. It's been a very low foul first half.
And Teske, of course, as big as he is, it's not a natural fit for him to play defense on the perimeter, but that's the kind of stuff, once you get deeper in the tournament, that maybe Michigan might face. If he wants to stay on the court, which Michigan is going to need, he's going to have to get accustomed to that style of play.
It was a quick trap in the corner on Simpson off the inbound. Now they got Brisdakis open, going to get it to Teske underneath. Teske with the jam. He backed down on Ogine, knocked him over, no whistle, and Teske finishes the slam. Michigan up 14. Wolverines have made 5 of their last 6 from the field. Montana's made 3 of their last 3. Grizzlies finally getting a little bit of offensive consistency. We'll see if they can continue that. Timmy Falls Gets it over to Dorsey, who kicked it out to Ogine to Falls. Open three. That's an ugly looking shot. Matthews grabs down the rebound. Simpson comes up with it. They got Teskey backing down. Matthews has got it. He's going to shoot that contested jumper, and he's going to draw a foul, I believe, on Ogine as we hit the under 4. 2 free throws upcoming for Matthews.
And that last possession there, the three-pointer from Timmy Falls, not exactly what you want to see if you're a Grizzly fan, and that's, you know, once you start getting into a rhythm there, I can understand the idea there from Falls. You know, you've gotten a couple of baskets to go, you want to put something up, and clearly that's not the shot you want. Early in the shot clock from out there, when you've had the success in the last few possessions, you want to take your time, milk that shot clock, wait until you can get the best shot available. And I can't say that run was going to lead to a Grizzly comeback for sure, but tough to kill the momentum you have with a shot like that.
3:17 remaining in the first half. Michigan 29, Montana 15. It's been a pretty tidy one so far. Michigan's defense suffocating and Montana not getting a whole lot. It could be, if Michigan does indeed win this game, it could be a very, very good defensive battle on Saturday. We saw a great defensive effort by Florida to shut down the Nevada offense, and the Martin twins move on to the round of 32. They're a top 15 KenPom defense. Michigan entered at number 2, so good show of defense here in the late games in Des Moines.
That sure was a defensive showcase by Florida, and I'm not sure, you know, what if that was maybe a case of Nevada. You know, they were billed as a good offensive team. They have a lot of good scorers, at least on paper. Maybe there's an example of them just having an inflated resume from playing in a smaller conference like the Mountain West, but at least on paper, a team that shoots well. They've got a lot of high-scoring guys, and they looked like they had absolutely nothing for Florida. Really a impressive display from that Florida defense, not allowing Nevada to come back there, even though Nevada put together a pretty good run there in the second half, able to buckle down, take care of business. And now that's the kind of stuff you don't normally see out of a young team like a Florida, but able to pull it off as the lower seed. That's a gutsy victory for the Gators.
We saw a couple Minnesota fans still in attendance, probably left over from the early games, a long day at the stadium, just as we have been here the whole day. We have been in the stadium almost 12 hours.
Man, time flies.
Yeah.
When you're having fun here. And yeah, I guess, has it really been 12 hours? That is incredible to hear.
And give a big shout out to the event staff. They've been here 12 hours as well, working all day. This is the longest, grueling day they'll have all year.
Yeah. I'm one of the four most exciting days in sports. Four back-to-back exciting days. Just so much basketball on here today. It's it's Christmas for sports fans.
Charles Matthews strides to the free throw line, and to take a yawn there.
It's getting late. I've had myself quite a bit of coffee here today, but my body's still adjusted to Eastern time.
Yeah. Matthews leaves that one way short. He's been pretty good this year to get his free throw percentage up north of 60%, where last year it was close to 50 at different points in the year. He's got a second one coming to put Michigan back up 15, which is where the lead has kind of rested most of this half. The second one goes for the redshirt junior from Chicago, transferred through Kentucky, has played these last 2 seasons for the Wolverines, and likely to go to the NBA, potential second-round pick after the season. And Iggy Brzdakis almost gets in the way and takes that one right out of the hands of Grizzly player. Now underneath the basket, Manuel. Good defense from Jordan Poole. Great job to kick it around. Dorsey, open 3, and he sticks it. Finally, some good passing for Montana, and they find an open shooter, and he finally knocks it down.
And that's exactly what they need. There's really no way Michigan can defend the three that well if they're going to pass the ball like that.
Matthews going to the rim, not able to quite get it to go, and it's out of bounds off his foot. Montana takes back over. Good defensive possession there. 2:33 remaining in the first half. Michigan 30, Montana 18.
Yeah, Charles went up for that one with two hands trying to slam it down. He was trying to gesture to the refs that he got a hand on the wrist there, but to no avail, not going to get that call.
Grizzlies passing it around. Saeed Pridgett outside, watching against John Teskey. And Brzdakis again getting his hand in the lanes, and he takes it away. Down the other way, Brzdakis for the jam. Count it! And a foul. I don't know why Dorsey was going to foul Brzdakis when he clearly had a jam set up.
And it looked like to me that Dorsey was just trying to run out of the way.
Yeah, that might have been it. Brzdakis dunks on him. Let's take a look at the replay. Yeah.
I have no idea where the foul was.
I don't know where the foul was there. He's not even close to Brzdakis. Mind-boggling.
And it looks like he waved his arm. From my point of view, it looked almost like an aw shucks motion.
Yeah.
Rather than a swipe at the ball. I mean, he was too far away to be swiping at the ball, and maybe the ref.
And he was also kind of behind him.
Yeah, there was no chance he was getting to that one.
Brzdakis misses the free throw, and Montana down 14, comes onto the offensive end. Great look, count it! And a foul. Brzdakis gets a little payback there as Ogine takes it to the rack and lays it in.
And that's just poor defense there for Miggy Brzdakis. When a guy's smaller, less athletic than you, just blowing right by you, that's something you can't allow, and that's going to earn him a trip to the bench from John Beeline.
Yeah, Beeline with the quick hook. John Teskey onto the floor, 12-point Michigan lead. Montana has made 5 of their last 6 from the field. The issue is that Michigan's 5 of their last 7. So Montana really hasn't trimmed anything off the lead. 12-point Michigan advantage. Poole dribbles it up. Hands it off to Isaiah Livers. To Matthews. Trying to get a screen from Teskey. Teskey gets it back to Simpson, 9 on the shot clock. Nothing going on right now. They kick it out to Livers. He dribbles in the paint. Step back jumper, little short. Montana able to claw down the rebound. 90 seconds to go. Jordan Poole able to strip that one away. Matthews collects the turnover as Poole had gotten himself in the lane. Poole standing wide open in the corner, really wanted the ball, and no one saw him.
Yeah, Poole ran right down the court expecting Michigan to go back into that Showtime offense, but Matthews and Simpson elected to walk the ball up the court.
And we're going to have a foul on Montana. That'll put Michigan at the line. Livers got bumped, and so he'll shoot a 1-and-1. Poole's been very disengaged this first half. Just 2 field goal attempts, and he missed them both. They were both threes. No rebounds, 2 assists, 1 foul. Michigan's got to get Poole going at some point.
Kind of been lost here, and Matthews having a return back to his old form here on the offensive end. But that's a great point. Jordan Poole, really a pivotal player in Michigan's tournament run last year, making it all the way to the championship game. Of course, he put up that huge shot against Houston at the buzzer to win it, keep their run alive, and so far he has just not been that same player this season.
Livers gets them both. Michigan back up 13, but they need to play some better defense here. Step back 3 there from Manuel, and it is off the mark. Rebound by Teskey. 55 seconds remaining in the first half. Simpson dribbles it up, puts on the brakes, and then does an exact U-turn out by the March Madness logo. Teskey to set a screen. Simpson harassed, almost lost it, in danger of another turnover. 15 on the shot clock. Over to Poole. Poole's going to dribble through traffic, out of bounds off Michigan, and a turnover again.
And that was all set up by the aggressive defense by Rory there. Would not allow a step for Xavier Simpson. Forces him to give the ball up to Jordan Poole, who gets out of control there, and Great work by Greenway. Stripping.
3-second difference, shot clock and Gamecock. 34-21, Michigan on top. Rory just dribbling around with it. He's been very, very quiet. 4 points on 2 of 7 from the field. Now it's Pridgett. He pulls up on the jumper. That one didn't even hit any rim. Simpson grabs down the rebound. 4 seconds remaining. He's got to find Matthews. Got him open for 3 at the buzzer. And it rimmed around, went up, bounced back off the front iron, and then painfully dropped out. Regardless, Michigan heads to the break up 13, 34-21. A weird first half, not as painful as that one a year ago, but still not really fluid from either side.
Not even close, and it's really surprising to look at the score right now and only see Michigan up 13. As dominant as they were to start this one, really allowing Montana to hang around here by simply just kind of getting lackadaisical on the defensive end here. It's not exactly like Minnesota's just gotten hot. And they're still only 1 of 11 from behind the arc. They're just allowing them to penetrate, get easy buckets here, and that's not what you want to see out of a number 2 defense in all of college basketball. You'd think Michigan would be able to take care of business against a 15-seeded Montana Grizzly.
Well, a big factor in the second half that needs to be cleaned up, and John Beeline is normally very good at doing it, but the 8 turnovers for Michigan, they average 9 a game on the season and 8 in that first half.
I definitely think that might be a product of them trying to push up the tempo here on steals, but yeah, losing a turnover battle, not characteristic of Michigan and John Beeline basketball. Clearly, they're going to want to clean that up.
Well, with that, we will be back in about 16 minutes for the second half. We are back now for the second half of action between Michigan and Montana, live from the Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa. Our score, Michigan 34, Montana 21, in a pretty sleepy first half, not that much different from the first half a year ago. At that point, Michigan led only 3 at the half, however, with a very comfortable 13-point lead this time around. Second half, I'm Alex Strange, joined now by Andy Laidlaw. What were your takeaways from that first half?
Well, first thing, uncharacteristic by the Wolverines, a lot of turnovers out the gate. We got 8 turnovers right now to Michigan's 8 assists. Not a thing that you see a lot from the Wolverines. Xavier Simpson, a lot of turnovers. He's at 3 at this point. No, excuse me, he's got 4 at this point. Xavier Simpson, the point guard who takes care of the ball often, struggling so far. And then in terms of Montana, I mean, you're seeing their leading scorer struggling. Gune only got 3 points. Pritchett, the leading scorer, only got 6 points, shooting 3 of 9. And then Rory, 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting. So hasn't really been a great performance offensively from either team, but Michigan's making it really hard for Montana.
Well, with about 1:50 to go before we get this second half going, time to look up some different scores around college basketball. Purdue locked in an interesting game with Old Dominion. Not much offense in that one, 25-19 Boilermakers. That would be a big upset if Old Dominion could pull it off. Wofford up 13 on Seton Hall, early stages of the second half.
Yeah, Wofford looks really good right now. They're killing it. It's a team that's kind of been under the radar, sneaked in the top 25. They're playing well right now.
That'd be a very dangerous matchup with Kentucky in the next round. Baylor up 1 point on Syracuse in a tight 8-9 matchup at the half. And then this game, Michigan-Montana, also at halftime. Those are the games today. Another 16 tomorrow. And then we move into the round of 32. Michigan and Montana playing for the right to take on the Florida Gators, who defeated the Nevada Wolfpack before this game.
Yeah, tomorrow, if Michigan happens to close this game out like they should, up 13 here at half, that matchup tomorrow, Michigan-Florida, will be an interesting game. Both teams very defensive-minded, not exactly great offensively, so it'll be a good matchup for both these teams, the Wolverines and the Florida, but the Michigan still got 20 minutes. They got to close this ball game out.
Oh, it's a very, I mean, the bottom half of the West region, a lot of defensive teams, the Florida and Michigan, and of course Texas Tech. So a path to the Elite Eight for Michigan could potentially rest on trying to crack some tough defenses. Montana's not a great defense by any stretch of the imagination. Michigan's had trouble with their entry feeds to the bigs down low.
Yep. And well, you were talking about earlier, Xavier Simpson not looking as sharp as he usually does with his passing. But also, I mean, Jordan Poole's been pretty non-existent. He took those 2 threes early at about the 18-minute mark. He hasn't shot the ball since. John Teskey, he's sitting at 3 of 5, which is okay. And Iggy's 3 of 5, which is okay. But still, not a lot of electric plays out here for the Wolverines. They're not shooting well from outside. They're only 2 of 9, 22%. So, I mean, fortunately, we're playing a 15-seed Montana team who hasn't given much of a threat on offense. But if this were Florida come Saturday or Texas Tech come next Thursday, or any other team in this South region, Wolverines would be struggling right now.
We're about to resume in the second half of play. Montana's got to find a way to crack Michigan's defense. They played a little bit better towards the end of the half, but still 9 of 33 from the field. A really ugly stat line is Wells Fargo Arena has now gotten a little sparse. The upper deck is filed out. The lower bowl is thinned out. Not a lot of Michigan fans and not a lot of Montana fans either. It was the big contingent were Gopher folks early in the day.
And Bradley showed up pretty well too. I would probably say they're the second most.
And then Michigan State, I would say Michigan has a few more fans than MSU did, but it's very comparable between these two teams.
Yeah. And it's an 8-hour drive. It is what it is, but I did kind of expect the Wolverine Nation to show out a little better than it did today. But there's still more opportunities to come. Hopefully come Saturday, a weekend, they can.
Well, and certainly if Michigan does make it to the next round, they would have a big advantage out west with the large alumni base. We saw that last year in the Sweet 16 Elite Eight, how many fans Michigan had out in Southern California. So that's a factor to watch. We inbounded into Montana and a very quick clock situation. And they've stopped play 5 seconds into the second half.
Good start to the half.
Well, last year there was a 10-minute clock situation.
That's right.
So hopefully this doesn't last as long. It doesn't appear to. The referee is already walking over.
This game's already boring enough. So let's get this one rolling.
The media row is also kind of thinned out.
Yeah, it has. Everything's thinned out. Yeah, it's kind of.
Well, it's about 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 Eastern, getting pretty late. We've been at the stadium now for a full 12 hours. So they finally get it going. Saeed Pridgett with the ball, hands it off to Timmy Falls. Falls drives in, kicks it back out Moorhead. They got an open shooter, Ogine, and his shot just not on the mark. And that's been the story for Montana.
More three-point struggles, 1 of 12 from the floor now. Not pretty for Montana at all.
Matthews to Teskey, over to Simpson. Teskey driving to the rack, lays it up, no. Brisdakis underneath, throws up another try. Moorhead might have gotten a hand on it. And Michigan, despite that height advantage, just not very good at finishing underneath the basket right now. And now an open three opportunity for Pridgett in the corner, and he knocks it down. Teskey's been very hesitant to pursue.
Yeah, you talked about the height advantage. And in a situation where Michigan clearly should out-rebound Montana, they're only up 23-18 on the rebound. So you would think Michigan would have to improve.
And we're going to have an offensive foul on John Teskey, and looks like another moving screen. He got called for one earlier. Referees have really let these teams play, but the one thing they've been a little stringent on is those moving screens.
Yeah, I think that's a focus kind of all around college basketball this year. You're seeing that being called far more often than the past years. And yeah, Teskey's been called for 2 of them, so he's got to be careful.
Montana with the ball, only trailing by 10, but they do need to show some better consistency. Moorhead to Falls, to Pridgett. Pridgett going to drive in on Teskey, to the rack, lay it up and lay it in. Saeed Pridgett starting to heat up a little bit, and Montana trying to work their way back into this.
Yeah, beautiful little spin move by Pridgett, and got the shot up and over John Teskey, the 7-1 center. That's a pretty little move by Pridgett, looking silky smooth out there.
Matthews looking for Teskey, and that one is blocked out of bounds. Montana has been terrific at denying the entry pass.
Yeah, not the start of the second half the Wolverines were looking for. Come out, a couple really bad possessions on offense, and then even worse on defense.
Simpson finds Teskey, but he was too far away, and so he had to kick to the corner to Matthews, out of bounds off Montana.
Yeah, Michigan still only shooting 20% from 3. You know, a kind of a struggle Michigan's been dealing with all year.
Simpson
have to improve.
Dribbles into the paint, kicks, Poole in the corner, open shot, and he sticks it. Finally, Jordan Poole. Hopefully that can break him out of his funk.
As soon as I talk about Michigan not making threes, boom, they hit one. Big shot there by Jordan Poole.
Yeah, both teams really struggled from beyond the arc. Now here's Pridgett again. He's going to take a shot from way far away. That's a long 2. One of the most inefficient shots in basketball, and he was too strong. Simpson brings it up. Matthews with the ball. You'd like to see him go to the rack more.
Matthews had a very good first half, closing 5 of 9, shooting with 11 points.
And now they go to Teskey inside. There's going to be a foul on the Grizzlies, and that's the right call, because Teskey, that's been an issue. I mean, Michigan has struggled with those entry passes, but Montana's also been all over him.
Yeah, Michigan, like you were talking about earlier, Michigan got the clear height advantage. The tallest player on the court for Montana is sitting at 6'7", and John Teskey's 7'1". He has not really shown the ability to be a great back-to-the-basket big, but in a situation like this, you have to be for John Teskey.
Matthews out of the inbound, and he hits that mid-range jumper that is really his go-to shot, and he knocks it down.
Yeah, big shot for Wolverines. John Teskey hopefully can get rolling. He did hit that 3 earlier. That was big to see for Michigan because really Teskey's been struggling with his jump shot, especially the last month and a half.
Ogine finds Falls in the corner. He dribbles baseline, and almost falling out of bounds there, Ahmad Rory. Now he takes a three-pointer off the mark. Teskey corrals the rebound, hands it off to Simpson, trying to run in transition. Gets the screen to Simpson from Teskey. Simpson dribbles baseline, double team, finds Matthews open on the wing for 3, and it goes. Michigan now on a quick run, back up by 16 points. That's a 8-0 run for the Wolverines. They're 3 of their last 3 from the field.
I don't know what it is with Charles Matthews against Montana, but he seems to find that offensive grind that he usually doesn't have.
And there's a strip by Teskey. Simpson running the floor, going to find Jordan Poole, but Ahmad Rory does a good job to get his hand in there and tip it out of bounds.
Nice thing about Xavier Simpson, he has struggled passing the ball today, but you're still not seeing him shy away from the pick and roll and the options he likes to give when he's looking for passes. He's still going at it. He's still trying to fill lanes. He's still trying to dish it out. That's just the typical Xavier Simpson stuff that he usually likes to do.
Now we have a sub going on. Moorhead goes off, and it'll be Donovan Dorsey coming back on. Both those players at 6'7", essentially acting as the centers because Montana has not used Mac Anderson at all in this one. He's 6'9". Poole swings it to Simpson. They want to get it into Teskey, but a alley-oop there from Simpson to Teskey was. They've been struggling to get Teskey isolated underneath, but Simpson able to drive to the paint, and that brings the defender off Teskey, and he used his signature hook shot to set up that alley-oop. Now Montana going to take a quick timeout on a 10-0 Michigan run, and the Wolverines lead by 18, starting to really pull away from the Grizzlies.
Yeah, talk about that pick and roll. That's a very good opportunity. Teskey wasn't able to seal his guy on a post. Went out, set a screen. Simpson got around the corner, hedged it out, threw the oop to Teskey, and Teskey slammed it home. That is just fundamental pick and roll offense that the Wolverines really have kind of struggled at in the last month and a half. I'd say about the last half month. And Simpson delivers a good pass, and Teskey slims home.
Well, Matthews 16 points on 7-11 from the field. Brzdakis 8 points on 3 of 6 from the field. Teskey 9 points on 4 of 7 from the field.
Yeah, talking about Charles Matthews, and like I was talking about Montana, last year went out and scored 20 points on 7 of 13 shooting. It's kind of shaping up for the same night for Charles Matthews. So yeah, like you said, sitting at 16 points on 7 of 11 shooting. So yeah, Charles Matthews has been excellent. And it's nice to see because Charles Matthews really has been struggling offensively since he's came back from injury. Did not look very great in the Big Ten tournament.
We got the emoji cam going on, and 2 Iowa folks were on the screen, and the Michigan and Minnesota fans at this game not too happy about that.
Yeah, the Iowa Hawkeyes, the time when they play tomorrow.
I'm not sure.
Try to pull that up for you. Yeah, Iowa's going to play at 12:15 early game tomorrow against
Cincinnati.
The early
one. And that's a road game, basically.
Yeah, in Dayton, right?
In
Columbus. Yeah, Iowa's a very capable team. Jordan Bohannon, we've been watching him all year. The guy's excellent. He can pull up from just about anywhere on the court. Well, that's a tough draw when you're playing in Columbus against Cincinnati. Yeah, like you said, it's basically a home game for the Bobcats.
Purdue closed out that half very, very well, and a lead by 13 over Old Dominion at the break. Other games still in halftime is Baylor-Syracuse. Wofford leads by 7 over Seton Hall.
Yeah, that Syracuse-Baylor game is very interesting because, you know, looking into it, everybody always talks about how Gonzaga can't play in a tournament, although they played very well today. Either one of those teams, Baylor or Syracuse, has the absolute capability of upsetting Gonzaga. And like you said earlier in the Nevada-Florida game, that Syracuse zone against the post offense of Gonzaga would be an awesome matchup to see.
This has been a very long media timeout.
Yeah, I feel like every media timeout has been very long.
Some have been longer than others. Oh no! Oh! That Iowa fan just took his shirt off on the emoji cam. Had to pan the camera.
Yeah, good thing Iowa's not playing here today. I'm sure they
Hawkeye fans getting rowdy after dark.
Yeah.
In Wells Fargo Arena.
Well, someone's got to make something exciting. This basketball game's been dry. The whole stadium's pretty much empty. Things are quiet. The announcer over the intercom here in Des Moines here at the Wells Fargo Arena, he's gone quiet. We're not, though. We're trying to stay somewhat energized and alive here on a long day for us.
Here in Wells Fargo Arena, downtown Des Moines, as we play in the second half between Montana and Michigan. Great views in the concourse to see the capital of the state of Iowa, and we got a quick whistle right out of the inbound.
I think they called a hold on Charles Matthews. I think that's going to be Matthews' first of the day. So
I know it's going to be on Poole.
Poole, okay.
And now a timeout on the floor. Oh, right, it's the under 16. So we have back-to-back timeouts. This happened in the Nevada game earlier today where you have a team timeout followed by one, 5-second play and then another timeout.
TV timeout. It's exciting. Great radio.
Yeah.
that gives us. But, hey, whatever. We'll do what we can with it.
It's a really nice facility here at Wells Fargo Arena. Hosts, as we mentioned earlier, 3 different sports, hockey, basketball, and indoor football. The Barnstormers of the Indoor Football League, and then the minor league squads for the Minnesota Timberwolves and Minnesota Wild. So 3 different teams here in downtown Des Moines, and they've also got the Iowa Cubs in town. That's the minor league baseball team in Des Moines.
Yeah, I'm sure this was brought up earlier, but Kurt Warner played in this arena.
Yes,
in
he
the
did.
Arena Football League, he's got his jersey up in the rafters.
Yeah, it looks like they say, the Indoor Football League Hall of Fame. I think that's Warner's number on that banner, too. I have to wonder what you have to do to get into the Indoor Football League Hall of Fame. Yeah. Because I assume it's not be an NFL MVP, because there's only one of those.
Yeah.
But
no, but we were walking out in the concourse out there, walking around the arena, and they have some beautiful views looking out into Des Moines. Yeah, it's a really, really nice facility, a really nice city. And this is a great event for Iowa here, and a great event for the March Madness NCAA tournament.
And a factor around the state of Iowa that we experienced yesterday, and looking out on the concourse, is the flooding here that has really hit the Great Plains. Nebraska's been dealing with flooding. In Iowa, we drove through the Quad Cities. The river was almost street level off to our side, and you could see the river that cuts through Des Moines pretty high up on the bridges.
Yeah. Yep. One of those times you get into spring, that's what kind of happens. Prayers to anybody involved in Nebraska, especially. They've been. Sounds like Nebraska's been suffering a lot. So prayers up to everybody there. And this Syracuse-Baylor game, they keep every time there's a little pause in the game here at the Wells Fargo Arena, they throw up a game on the board. Right now they got the Syracuse-Baylor game, 39-40.
It's a tight battle between Baylor and Syracuse as the Montana band continues to play in this timeout, and we see Monty the Grizzly really getting down with the cheerleading squad over there. He's into it.
They're kind of looking at stat sheet right now. Combined Montana's and Michigan's 3-point shooting, they are 6 of 36. I'm getting that right. 6 of 26. Excuse me. Math is hard, but no. Not a lot of excitement here in this basketball game. Yeah. Michigan's not been a good shooting team all year, and you're seeing it tonight. Poole hit that one here in the second half, but that's all we've gotten.
The host team for this tournament set of games is the Drake Bulldogs, the Missouri Valley Conference. Their conference champion, Bradley, was playing earlier today.
Played Michigan State very, very tough. Got out in that first half and shot very well.
And Montana inbounds it in. Timmy Falls got loose from Eli Brooks. He goes to the rack and lays it in. That's a nice play.
Yeah, very nice call by Timmy Falls. Got to the rim, elevated, and a very nice finish.
Simpson, pass across to Eli Brooks, back to Simpson, back to Brooks, back to Simpson. Playing hot potato. They find Matthews, and then Matthews lost it. Takeaway by Montana. Up come the Grizzlies. Rory to the rack. Lays it up, no. And he's fouled.
Yeah, we'll say Rory's the one guy coming in who I was very, very excited to watch, and somewhat disappointing so far today. 0 for 3 from 3, a shooter who's actually a very good shooter. He's sitting at 30%, which is not great, but it's out. And he's averages 15 points a game, 2 of 8 for 4 points today.
Rory's first free throw goes down. He had 15 points in the game a year ago, as did Michael Ogine, and they've got a combined 8 points at this point in time. Rory with 5, Ogine with 3, and make it 6 for Rory as he hits both free throws. Montana's gonna get a quick sub. It's the challenge of calling games back to back.
Yeah, well, we've been here since about 9:30 watching basketball day.
Yep.
Can't complain though. Can't beat watching March Madness basketball.
Simpson to Brooks, looks for Matthews, and they're gonna get a turnover violation. Michigan did not get it past half court in time. Wolverines really struggling with the full court press right now.
It's just something about Michigan's flow of offense that has just got putting them in bad positions all year. Again, they're still at the 15-minute mark in the second half, 44 points. Getting pressed, they just couldn't beat a 10-second call. Not sharp offense from the Wolverines.
Montana had it down low to Pridgett, who lost it off his hand out of bounds. That'll go to the Wolves. Or no, they say it's off Michigan, I believe.
Yeah, look, I think they got Charles Matthews on the...
Oh, they got a foul on Matthews, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they've really... Michigan's sitting at 4 total, or no, excuse me. Yeah, 4 fouls here in the second half compared to Montana's 1.
Spot up jumper from Rory, in and out on that three-pointer. He's now 2 of 15 for the Grizzlies from beyond the arc. They've got Livers as the big, having pulled Teskey off the floor. Brisdakis to Simpson. Simpson dribbling around, falls. Simpson goes to the rack. The hook shot. Yes, it goes.
There it is, baby. The iconic Xavier Simpson hook shot. I think he's still sitting around 65% with the hook shot, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Something like that.
That's incredible.
Took a while to go down, and it officially dropped 46 to 30. 14 minutes remaining in the game, and oh boy. Good pass way over the head.
Yeah, bad pass, but there a point in that possession. Zaire Pridgett was one-on-one in the paint with Xavier Simpson, a clear height advantage, and Livers came down, and Simpson went back to his guy, and Livers came back to Pridgett. Very good rotational defense by the Wolverines to play to their matchups.
Yeah, Dorsey was trying to get it to Pridgett in the block, and just way over his head. Livers looked like one of those, like, ones where he goes up for the shot and decides to try to pass it, then gives it away. Montana up the other direction. Michigan continuing to be sloppy. That's their 11th turnover now.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic of the Wolverines. One of the best teams in the country, all taking care of the ball, and they're not really doing it today.
Now driving to the lane is Rory. Lays it up. No, it will not drop, but Eli Brooks will get charged with the foul, so 2 free throws coming.
Yeah, another thing really to talk about, this is Eli Brooks' second or third time checking in the game. And we obviously Livers coming off the bench, but we've seen no Cal Caston, and we've seen no David DeJulius. John Beilein sticking with his 7-man rotation.
Yeah, running a tight ship right now as Rory makes the first 46-31. Wolverines 53% from the field for Michigan, 30% from the field for Montana. Rory knocks him down. He's now up to 9 points on the game. Brisdakis dribbles into the paint. Floater, nope. In and out, but he gets his own rebound, and then a follow-up attempt. Couldn't get that one to go either, but draws a foul, so he'll go to the line. And now some chirping going on between the Montana and the Michigan players. Isaiah Livers still getting involved, and some Montana teammates having to separate their guy. Ahmad Rory is the one getting involved with Brisdakis.
Yeah, at first it looked like it was Pridgett and Iggy kept putting the ball in the hoop, getting his own rebound. After the play was over, putting it again in the hoop. Some random acts with Iggy, and Pridgett wasn't for it. Pridgett gave him a little shove, and Iggy kind of gave him back.
Brisdakis at the free throw line. He's 2 for 3 from there on the day, makes the first.
Yeah, Iggy very good last possession. Went to the hoop, didn't get it to finish, missed a floater, stuck with it, got the offensive rebound and put it back up, and got a foul. That's kind of what you got to look for in your power forward. If he's going to miss an inside shot, he's got to get his own board and put it back up.
So Brisdakis stands at the line for his second free throw to make it a 16-point Wolverine edge, and he gets it. 48-32, Michigan over Montana. 13:20 to go in the game. Ahmad Rory. Pass over to Saeed Pridgett. Pridgett is going to look to pass it now. He decides not to. Hands it off to Rory. Back to Pridgett, baseline, working on Simpson. Waiting with it, kicks it out for Ogine, drives to the lane. Matthews, great defense. Rebound, Brisdakis over to Simpson.
Again, Simpson was switched on Pridgett, and Pridgett couldn't do anything. Good defense by Simpson. And then obviously a great closeout by Charles Matthews.
Simpson to Brzdakis. Step back three and a little short. A tough shot to attempt there.
Yeah. Rough look for the Wolverines there.
Ogine streaking to the basket and gets bumped. That'll be a foul on the floor. Inbound under the basket for Montana.
You know,
not really any foul trouble.
No, nothing so far.
It's been a very clean game. Nobody with more than 2 fouls.
On either team. Looking, I mean, this is, we talked about Nevada and Florida. They let them play a little bit too. They're kind of doing the same thing here for the Wolverines, and then Michigan 6 fouls, and I think Montana's going to go on the bonus in the next foul. But yeah, the refs are letting them play, and it's been a very efficient game for the referees.
Manuel with the ball, gives it to Rory, dribbles into the key. He takes a shot that is short. John Teske, who's been subbed back on for Brzdakis, gets the rebound. Simpson comes up the floor with it, looks for Teske streaking towards the paint. Matthews, Brooks in the corner. Switching around, Brooks outside. Waits to get a screen from Teske, trying to find him. Teske at the free throw line, kicks it to Simpson. 10 on the shot clock. They try to find Teske underneath, and he's going to get pushed out of bounds, and they'll call the foul.
Good pass by Xavier Simpson there. Again, in the pick and roll on the left wing. Teske sets the screen for Simpson. Simpson comes off the right side. Throws a little, kind of like his hook shot, passing it to Teske, and Teske gets fouled by Rory. So good little pick and roll there by the Wolverines. A good play.
Wide open, Isaiah Livers in the corner, but Charles Matthews battles for the offensive rebound under the basket. Going to go up with it, and Ogine, and coming over was Dorsey, and reaching in and getting charged with the foul. So quite a few whistles this last minute or two, and Matthews should have 2 free throws out of the timeout as we are at the under 12 timeout. Still Michigan 48, Montana 32. You're listening to WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan basketball.
Yeah, kind of an odd baseline. Really, it wasn't a baseline play. Pridgett was on Livers, wasn't looking at Livers at all, wasn't looking at Simpson inbound in the pass. Simpson just darts it over to Livers. Livers throws up the 3, misses it, but Charles Matthews sticks with it, gets the offensive board, goes up and gets a foul and is going to the line. See, a lot of offensive rebounding is starting to pick up for the Wolverines. That's a good sign in a game where they're clearly outsizing Montana. You expect them to get a lot of offensive boards and be aggressive. So it's good for the Wolverines to kind of sort of pick up that offensive rebounding and really rebounding in general.
(48-32), Wolverines over the Grizzlies. As we take a look at other scores around college basketball, that Syracuse-Baylor battle continues. Right now it's Orange 53, Baylor 50. A really tight battle there. Wofford now only up by 5. Seton Hall trying to mount a comeback.
Yep.
Purdue up 11 over Old Dominion early stages of the second half. Tomorrow is another good lineup of games, starting as usual right at that noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. You got Iowa, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, Ole Miss. That's the first 2 games. Those should be competitive.
Yeah.
Northern Kentucky, Texas Tech, UC Irvine, Kansas State. That's a potential upset type matchup. Arizona State, Buffalo will be a lot of fun to watch.
That's I think that and the Oregon-Wisconsin game are the 2 games I'm looking forward to the most, especially the Oregon game. I watched them play. I watch every game of theirs in the Pac-12 championship. They have a guy named Lewis King who was absolutely phenomenal. I was very surprised to see the committee give them a 12 seed. They went out and dominated that Pac-12 tournament, beat Arizona State, beat Washington, who are 2 tournament teams, and didn't get better than 12 seed. So Oregon really can make a run at Washington. Or excuse me, at Wisconsin.
And then in the evening, Liberty and Mississippi State. That is a potential upset. UCF, VCU going on. That'll have, of course, the great Taco Fall, the 7'6" big man for the Golden Knights. Ohio State, Iowa State. That'll be an interesting matchup. St. Louis, Virginia Tech. A lot of competitive ones tomorrow. Should be some upsets finally.
Yeah. We didn't get a lot of them today. We had a couple 10-7s, but we didn't get any big ones.
Oh, and Seton Hall has just taken the lead over Wofford.
Wow.
54-53. The Pirates on a roll. So a couple other competitive games going on right now as Michigan is up by 16 with 12 minutes remaining in this 2-seed, 15-seed matchup. Charles Matthews stands at the stripe to shoot 2.
Yeah, Charles Matthews really has been improving or attempting to improve his free throw shooting. Last year he sat around 50, 52, 53%. This year he's trying to get it north of 65. So Charles Matthews really improved, and it's big for him to stay on the court because Michigan needs him defensively late down the stretch.
Makes the first. He's up to 17 points. He's got the second one coming, and he makes that one. So 18 points for Matthews, who was so big in the NCAA tournament a year ago. This is great to see for Michigan. And the next one up is to get Jordan Poole back involved.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big one. Poole's really got to get going.
Saeed Pridgett tried to go baseline for Rory, and Teskey with the big foot right in the way.
Yeah, you brought up about Matthews. In the Big Ten tournament, we didn't see Matthews slash a lot. We didn't see him go to the basket and try to elevate around the rim. Today, you've seen exactly that. He's taking it to the rim. He's slamming them home. He's putting some off the backboard. He's finishing around tough, around tough coverage, and so he's done very well.
Ahmad Rory with it outside, double team. Now kicks to Saeed Pridgett. Open 3. Boy, oh boy. Montana just can't get anything to go. 2 of 16 from behind the arc for the Grizzlies. Michigan leads by 18. Chance to push it beyond 20, which would be the first time they hit that threshold all game. Michigan's missed their last 4 from the field. Montana just one of their last 7. Simpson, the hook shot off the mark, but Matthews battles for the offensive rebound, crashing that glass. Gives it out to Brooks, being guarded by Fall.
Offensive rebound really starting to pick up for the Wolverines.
And now Brooks underneath the basket. Layup. Oh, boy, just couldn't get it to go. Perfect reverse lay-in and just couldn't get the finish.
Yeah, Pridgett with a very good box out on John Teskey.
Ogine to falls into the lane. Great defense from Charles Matthews and John Teskey. And now battle on the ground. Eli Brooks comes away with a gritty rebound. Now up comes Matthews, 4 on 3 for the Wolverines. They've got Simpson open in the corner. Nope, a little short. And the rebound by Rory.
Yeah, Simpson really does not like those corner threes. She was about as open as you possibly can get, and he left it right.
You got to shoot it when you're there.
Oh, yeah. And
now Moorhead knocks down a 3 for Montana. That's their first make in their last 6 shots to cut it back to 15, 50 to 35. Michigan's got some subs ready to come in at the next whistle. Brooks delivers to Teskey. Matthews. Livers in the low post, working on Moorhead, and we got a tie-up. The ball will go to Michigan.
Yeah, Livers is the other guy who's really been disappointing today offensively. In the Big Ten tournament, probably was Michigan's best overall scorer. Today, he's sitting at 3 points at 3 made free throws, 0 of 5 from the floor and 0 of 3 behind the arc. That's not a typical Isaiah Livers day. It's a guy that Michigan really, really relies on to hit that outside shot. But today, he's been unable to do it.
Simpson looking to inbound to Teskey. Hands it right back to Simpson. 4 on the shot clock. Simpson going to go baseline. He's in trouble. Gives it off to Teskey, and he just did get it off. Oh, we're going to get a look at the shot clock.
I don't know why. It sure looked like Teskey got this off, but
it was definitely close as Simpson was in a lot of trouble on the baseline. Had to hand it off to Teskey, and he just seemed to get it away, but
man, that play was all made by Xavier Simpson. He drove baseline, then kind of turned his shoulders and just dumped it off to Teskey in between 2 defenders, and Teskey finished it home. And Teskey finished it home, so great play by Xavier Simpson. I think he got that one off, and yeah, they're settling it right around. They didn't take long to look at. Michigan gets the basket.
And that's the way it should be. When you have a call that's very easy, it only needs 1 look. We don't need 5 angles. Just make the call and let's get back to the game.
To be fair, a situation like this where it's a 17-point ball game, with 10 minutes left, like you said, be efficient, be quick.
Rory brings it up the court for the Grizzlies. He's got Moorhead coming off a screen. They go into the post. Pridgett's got some room on Teskey, who has not challenged him outside the paint much today. Moorhead goes baseline, kicks it out to Falls. They go corner to Ogine. Good defense from Livers, but then he proceeds to nudge him out of bounds, and it'll be a whistle on Isaiah Livers. That'll be his 3rd personal.
Yeah, one thing coming in today I was very interested to see was how is John Teskey going to deal with these quicker kind of forwards, these 6'7", 6'8" forwards who are faster than him, more athletic than him, and are quicker than him. And really, honestly, he's been able to use his height very efficiently. Although he's leaving space, his long wingspan can go up and contest shots, so he's done very well today.
Ogine missed that one, and it's a 1-and-1, so Livers with the rebound, and Michigan is able to take back over possession. Montana still sub 30% from the floor on the game.
Yeah, both teams also struggling from the free throw line.
Simpson dribbles in, throws it up for Teskey, and he is able to come down with it, but not before he is harassed by several Grizzlies, and there is a whistle. That's the luxury you have when you're playing a team that doesn't have any tall guys.
Yeah. So you throw it up to him.
Yeah.
It kind of looked, Timmy Falls isn't happy with the call, but it sure kind of looked like he undercut him a little bit, so I can see where that call
kind of like vintage Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
And you know he'd come down with
man.
it.
Don't get me on that train. That's a sad day to talk about Calvin Johnson. I miss that man.
Simpson with the ball out of the inbound. He's going to dribble in close, hands it off to Iggy Brisdakis. Face up on Ogine will look to get a screen from Teskey. Now he goes into the lane, spin move, and I think we have another foul coming on Montana.
Man, I thought that was good defense at Michael Ogine. I think he tied up Iggy. Good defense.
Yeah, they're going to get him on a reach-in.
Foul.
And that now Michigan in the bonus.
Tough call.
So Brisdakis at the line. Not sure if it's a shooting foul. It may either be a 1-and-1 or 2 shots. Looks to be 2 shots because none of the players are all that interested in getting a rebound.
Yep.
There is no rebound. Brisdakis makes the first, 53-35. Matthews back on, Livers to the bench.
Kind of talking about it earlier, and you're seeing a lot from Iggy today. He still has that bad tendency of once he puts the ball on the floor, he buries his head and throws up a bad shot. And he did it again that possession.
And he makes a second. 6 for 7 from the line. Brisdakis does have that ability to get to the free throw line.
He does.
In a way that some Michigan players don't. 54-35. This ties the largest lead of the game, or maybe it is the largest lead. I know they haven't gotten to 20. Pridgett to the basket. Nice job. Acrobatic bending around Matthews and laying it in. 54-37.
Yeah, although Montana has struggled from the floor, Pridgett's been pretty successful. He's 13 points and 6 of 14, so he's been the one sort of light at the end of the tunnel kind of guy for Montana.
Yeah, Rory 2 of 10 has really struggled. Pull back onto the floor with the ball. He's going to go to the rack, lays it up, count it, and a foul.
Good take by Jordan Poole. That's vintage Jordan Poole right there, coming off a screen, taking all the way to the rack, finishing around the rim. Beautiful take by Jordan Poole. Hopefully we can see more of that from him, a guy who's been kind of struggling of late. Hopefully Jordan Poole can pick it up a little bit.
56-37, Wolverines. Poole stands at the line. And he makes that one. So Michigan finally hits that 20-point threshold. Very comfortable lead over the Montana Grizzlies. This is really the only game of the day here in this building that's been uncompetitive the whole time.
Well, we thought that Nevada-Florida game was be uncompetitive, and then Nevada made a little run there at the end.
There's a 3 from Rory off the mark. Teskey the rebound. Well, both Nevada and Minnesota, or rather Florida and Minnesota, had shaky closes to their games after big leads. Simpson kick to Brisdakis, open on the wing. That shot, no. Moorhead with the rebound. And then stolen by Teskey. Gives it up to Simpson. 3-on-1 Wolverines. Bounce pass. Matthews lays it up and lays it in. 22-point lead for Michigan, 59-37.
Yeah, good court vision by Xavier Simpson to find the open guy, and Charles Matthews gives that sweet little up and under finish around the rim. That's something we haven't seen from Charles Matthews at all, man. We haven't seen his, we were actually talking about it earlier, we haven't seen his leaping ability. I think that ankle's kind of held him back a little bit, but man, I don't think anything's holding him back today. He's looking very, very good, sitting at 20 points on 8 of 12 shooting. Can't ask for anything more for really your only senior on the team.
Well, we are at the under 8 timeout where we're going to be. Instead, Montana takes a timeout, does Travis DeCure. So we're back to the Baylor-Syracuse game on the screen. Syracuse and Baylor tied at 57, and Baylor just buried another 3 to go up. It's been a really good shooting day for both teams in that one. Yeah,
you brought it up earlier, and it's just stuck in my head. I really want to see that Syracuse zone against that Gonzaga post team. I don't think you can map up any better of a second-round matchup. That'd be awesome. So we'll see how this Gonzaga-Baylor game shakes out. Baylor actually looked very good in the Big 12 tournament as well. A team that was really struggling early on for a while there. They were winless in the Big 12. They went through the first, I believe, 5 or 6 games without a win and closed their season out very well. So looking good against Syracuse today, but we'll see how that one plays out. Purdue is rather dominating Old Dominion, a game that started off rather poorly for the Boilermakers. They're up 18 now, 43-25 on Old Dominion.
Yeah, Old Dominion just can't score, sitting at 25 points in 26 minutes played. You look at the Baylor-Syracuse box score right now, and Baylor shooting 56% from the field, 52% from three, 14 of 27 from three. You want to beat the 2-3 zone, you have to shoot over it, and Baylor doing that tonight. That's exactly right. And there's a lot of teams, unfortunately, that can't do it against Syracuse. Yeah. I mean, teams try to replicate the Syracuse 2-3 zone, and people just can't do it. Jim Boeheim has really organized such a perfect system. He gets length, he gets athleticism, and they're the perfect upset team in the tournament. Last year we saw Syracuse as an 11 seed upset Michigan State, and a lot of people gave Michigan State a lot of dirt on that, but that game was mostly won by Syracuse and their 2-3 zone and their ability to shut down really great teams. Yeah, they made the Sweet 16 last year and only a couple years removed from a Final Four run in 2016, which was also stunning. They have not been a high seed since the sanctions were levied against the program, but since then, they've pretty much just been one of those sneaky upset teams. Last year in the Sweet 16, very easily could have beat Duke. They were in that game for a long time. But, you know, and that's one of those things where Syracuse and Duke play each other often, and Duke plays that 2-3 zone quite a bit. So they have a little bit of an advantage compared to teams like Michigan State last year, who really, really struggled against it. And kind of staying on the same note, I brought it up earlier in the Nevada-Florida game, but tomorrow here, or sorry, excuse me, Saturday here in Des Moines, that Minnesota and Michigan State game, two teams, the same conference, know each other very well. Pitino and Izzo know each other, so it's going to be very curious to see how that game plays out. Well, it'll be interesting because they only played each other once, which, by the way, my cousin texted me during a little earlier that conference teams can play each other in the round of 32 as long as they only played once in the regular season. Really? That's the rule now. Okay. That makes sense, but I still don't like it. You still got to facilitate teams who haven't played each other yet, you know? Yeah. So, and Minnesota never got a home game against MSU, and they may well get one of a type on Saturday. Back out of the timeout, Montana with the basketball, 7:30 to go. And Pridgett backing down Simpson, taking him. Again, Simpson switched on Pridgett, and the first time Pridgett has been able to take advantage of that mismatch. That's a big basket for the Grizzlies. Jordan Poole with the ball. Michigan up 20. Livers inside, lays it up and lays it in, going around those swarming Grizzly defenders trying to set traps and force turnovers, which Michigan has really cut down on in the second half. Again, Pridgett switched on Simpson. They got to take advantage of that mismatch. Manuel had it stripped out of bounds. Poole got his hand in there, and then it went off the leg of Manuel. Michigan takes back over, up 22. John Beeline's always been very good at that. If there's turnover problems in the first half, there are never in the second half. Agreed. And Montana's been switching up a lot. Like you said, they keep bringing that double team, trying to trap teams, or trying to trap Michigan in the corner. And Michigan's been very efficient, getting the ball in the middle where they can either strike it to the basket or look opposite and get a three on the outside wing. Poole gets bumped down from behind, and he's going to draw the foul. Might have been a bit of a flop there, but maybe a little bit of a trip. Yeah, nothing too serious. But you know, the question you have to ask here in a situation with 22-point lead with 6.5 to go, when does John Beilein start putting in his backups? When does he start putting in those freshmen who coming in were highly touted that really haven't, you know, been that big of a factor for the Wolverines yet? You get them, try to get them some tournament experience, or you're gonna wait a little while. Poole in the 1-and-1 makes the first. Simpson, by the way, at 9 assists and 7 rebounds. Only 4 points, but he could have the old-fashioned double-double. Yeah. And Simpson against Ohio State hit his first triple-double of the year. Yep. Very, very good game there by Simpson, and he's got the capability of doing that. For a point guard, he's one of the best rebounders in the country. Rory kicks to Moorhead, and his lay-in is off the mark, but then an offensive rebound by Ogine. He misses the putback. Brisdakis the rebound. Simpson comes running up the floor with it, throws on the brakes. As we approach 6:20 remaining. Have to think as we get close to maybe the 3 or 4 minute mark, you'll see the backups come in.
kind of quickly on the last defensive possession from Michigan, Iggy Bastakis has a really bad tendency of not boxing out and just going straight up for the rebound. He's got to work on his boxing out game.
Simpson dribbles in the paint, gives it out. Livers, open three, bingo. And Isaiah Livers finally connects from the floor.
1 of 4, about time for Livers to get rolling in the three-point game. He's got a huge role for the Wolverines in that three-point shooting. Michigan's relying on him a lot.
27-point Michigan advantage, 66-39. It started to get even more out of hand. Moorhead in the lane, ran into trouble, then kicks it back out, falls, knocks it down. Poole with a hand in his face, and he was still able to get it.
We were talking about the Martin twins and their odd forms.
Yeah.
Timmy Falls got an odd form himself. Actually very similar to the Martin twins.
Yep.
Gets to the high peak, he lets it sit there for a little bit, then he flicks the wrist.
Simpson, long pass to Brisdakis. Now Matthews, and he draws a foul.
Yeah. Bailout, that's sort of a bailout call for the Wolverines. Matthews got it in the middle. He didn't look opposite. He had Livers there in the left wing. Kind of fades away, throws up a shot, and fortunately, Montana's called for a foul.
Simpson, that last Livers make is an assist credited to Simpson, so now he's got 10. Got to find 3 more rebounds, though. Matthews first goes down, and we can't have our discussion of triple-doubles without mentioning John Morant.
Yeah.
Had a triple-double, a rare tournament triple-double for Murray State today as they upset Marquette.
He is absolutely excellent. We had the privilege of, they put it on the big screen here. We watched that Marquette, Marquise Howard versus John Morant and Murray State, and boy, that was an excellent game by Murray State. Boy, did Ja look good.
So Matthews gets them both. Now open look down low. Nice lay-in there by Saeed Pridgett. Back to a 24-point Michigan lead, 68-44. Simpson to Poole. Poole comes dribbling up with it. 5 minutes remaining in the contest. Hands it off to Simpson.
And John Beilein also has a weird tendency of not putting his backups in until very, very late, minute and a half, minute mark. So.
Well, it'll be good to get the backups in a tournament game because that's always a fun experience.
Absolutely.
And Michigan didn't get that until the Sweet 16 last year as Brisdakis powers to the lane. And
I'm sure we're going to see a C.J. Baird flashback to the tournament, see if he can knock down another jumper like he did last year against Texas A&M.
And now driving to the lane, laying it up and getting it to go there. Ahmad Rory getting past Brisdakis. 70-46 Wolverines, 4:20 remaining.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what Iggy was complaining about there. He got beat off the dribble by Ahmad Rory, or excuse me, Maury. No, it's Rory, I'm right.
Yeah, Rory.
And he finished around the rim, and Iggy was complaining about something. I don't know what it was.
Simpson with the ball, approaching 4 minutes remaining in the game. Winding it down to 9 on the shot clock, goes around Brisdakis. Simpson, the hook shot off the glass and just couldn't get it to go.
That one was deep.
Yeah, that was a tough
far.
One. Rory backs into the paint, gives it out to Falls. Falls drives in, lays it up, nope. And Michigan grabs down the rebound. Montana 34% from the field, and that's been the story of the game.
Absolutely. Honestly, Michigan's played good defense, but Montana's had a couple shots that haven't fallen. They've had open looks. They haven't been able to make them.
Matthews to Livers to Brisdakis. Michigan leads by 24. Poole gets the back screen, now drives into the paint, and he draws the foul. Poole is, whatever you want to call him, flopper or not, he definitely knows how to draw those calls.
He's Hollywood born. Yeah,
he has the head sort of snap back.
He kicks his head back. That's a really popular move in basketball now. Seriously, like half the players do it, and it's so aggravating to watch. It's just like Grayson Allen's the man who made it really popular, actually, in his first couple of years at Duke. It's so annoying. I hate that move.
Yeah.
For basketball, you know. I hate to be an old man, get off my lawn type of guy, but it's just one of those things in basketball that is so annoying nowadays.
Baylor leads 65-59 over Syracuse. Wofford back up 7 over Seton Hall. I think everyone wants to see Wofford win that one and get their shot against Kentucky.
Yeah, Wofford team that really has been climbing into the rankings slowly all year. I mean, they're a team it's Wofford. Nobody really knows Wofford. Nobody pays attention to Wofford, but they're an incredible team. They have great advanced analytics. They're a team that can score, can defend, and really, we saw Kentucky absolutely dominate today. Wofford really can give the Wildcats a tough game.
3:24 remaining in this one. Michigan 70, Montana 46.
Purdue also jumping up to a 13-point lead over Old Dominion. So Looks like another W for the Big Ten.
Yeah, it looks like the Big Ten will go to 5-0 on the day, as the crowd in Wells Fargo Arena is pretty much just Michigan fans at this point, and then the Montana parents and family. Otherwise, pretty sparse at this point in time.
I think come Saturday, it's going to be a bigger game. Florida's a big name for about the 937,000th time Michigan's going to play Florida in a postseason sporting event. So it's going to be fun seeing that. And they're two big name programs. Florida's got himself a couple of national championships back in the Joakim Noah days.
Yep.
So hopefully we get a good draw from the crowd come Saturday. Do we know the time yet for?
I have not seen it yet.
Okay.
A lot of familiarity between Michigan and Florida in various sports and postseason games. Michigan, of course, in the bowl game against Florida this year, played in a bowl game against Florida a couple of years ago. They played
season opener
last year in football, as well as, of course, the softball national championship in the Women's College World Series in 2015.
The 2013 Nick Stauskas Elite 8 game.
The Nick Stauskas Elite 8 game, yep. So a lot of, over the past 7-8 years between Michigan and Florida, and even if you want to go back 10 years to the Tim Tebow.
That's right, yeah, the Capital One Bowl.
Yep, Lloyd Carr's last game.
Yeah, yep. Man, Tim Tebow's Heisman year.
Yep.
Chad Henne and Mike Hart, Mario Manningham, Jake Long's last game, and you brought it up. That was also a very good football game. Another familiar, really a similar opponent in Michigan and Florida all the time.
So here we go, out of the timeout. Michigan has indeed put some backups in. Jordan Poole will get his 2 shots at the line. Eli Brooks sub back onto the floor. Brandon Johns and Colin Castleton into the game. Michigan not going super deep into the bench at the moment, but looks like David DeJulius will come in whenever he can for Jordan Poole. Poole obviously can't be subbed. Shooting his free throws makes the first.
Yeah, 2 exciting freshmen coming out, Castleton and Brandon Johns. A couple guys who have struggled early on. And
now Poole makes the second. Out he goes, and DeJulius comes in. Michigan 72, Montana 46. 3 minutes, 24 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Jonathan Castleton, two freshmen who I don't think Castleton was expecting much of a role, but ended up playing very well against Nebraska and played very well against Maryland. And then Brandon Johns, a freshman from East Lansing, who fortunately I got to watch a lot when he played in East Lansing. That guy's got great potential. He can play inside, play outside. Unfortunately, this year he's been stuck at the 5. Hopefully next year Wolverines can move him back into the 4 where he should be playing at.
Dorsey makes a 3 for Montana to approach the 50-point threshold for the Grizzlies, 72-49. Eli Brooks just holding the ball. Under 3 minutes remaining, gets a screen from Colin Castleton. Then there's a trap. Castleton shooting from the free throw line, and his shot was way short. Montana, I think there was a piece of that from behind in the defense, and now a long shot from Maud Rory. Rims in and rims out. Michigan grabs down the rebound.
Yeah, Castleton made the ultimate freshman mistake. He got the ball in the middle, and he froze, and he didn't move the ball. He didn't attack the rim. He got to swing it, get to the outside, look opposite. Another freshman coming in, David DeJulius, another guy from East English, Detroit. Very, very touted prospect. Wolverines had some expectations for him as well. Hopefully he can kind of develop a jump shot and really work his way into the Michigan rotation next year.
Brandon Johns gets the floater to go, 74-49. He waited all the way down in the last seconds of the shot clock before getting that one. And we're going to have a timeout by Travis DeCure to try and get some backups in for Montana, as well as backups in for Michigan. On come Adrian Nunez, C.J. Baird, and Austin Davis. Johns will go back out. Matthews and Brooks exit, so it's a lineup of DeJulius, Baird, Nunez, Castleton, and Davis. 3 small guards and 2 big men. Wonky looking lineup right now for Michigan, up 25 in the final 2 minutes of the game. Timmy falls in the paint, lays it up. Oh, looked like Castleton got a block, but there's a whistle.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about the Wolverines and everything they're bringing in with their freshmen. This is an exciting time, but you got to tip your hats to Montana and everything those seniors have done for this program in the last 2 years. Won the Big Sky back-to-back both times. Unfortunately, have had to play Michigan in the first round of the tournament, but in both games really gave Michigan a lot of trouble. Here early on, Michigan couldn't score. Last year early on, Montana jumped up to 10-0 lead. So those seniors, really from Montana, you talk about Ogunye, you talk about Pridgett, you talk about Rory, those are 3 guys who have really boosted this program, brought this program 2 Big Sky championships, 2 NCAA tournaments. You have to tip your cap to those fellas.
74-50 as one of those goes down. Baird with the ball, 90 seconds remaining. Watched, and he gets it over to Davis. Davis had Castleton rolling to the hoop. Davis, the little hook, and just wide right. Not able to quite get it to go.
Yeah, Davis, nice little post down, got a little spin move, but couldn't finish.
And that shot off the mark. And Nunez, everybody else going after it. No one gets the defensive rebound for the Wolverines. Another 3 opportunity, and that one goes for Timmy Falls. Knocks it down.
Ugly looking, but hey, it goes in. That's all that matters.
And Montana finally getting up to 53 points. A little bit more respectable compared to where it was early. But Michigan still pocketing a very comfortable win and looking to cover the spread, which I believe was 15 points. And DeJulius had it poked from behind out of bounds, 44 seconds remaining.
Wouldn't mind seeing the C.J. Baird iconic quick little strap he's got there in a shooting hand, so I kind of see Beeline draw out play, get him an open shot.
DeJulius looks to get it into Castleton. They got 12 on the shot clock, give it off to DeJulius, and he took too many steps.
Yeah, this backup freshman lineup, although they're talented and have potential, they're kind of struggling right now. It's not looking too pretty.
Yeah, that's always tough when you're cold the whole game. And
oh yeah, for sure. You don't have great expectations for them, but it's nice seeing them get some minutes here in the NCAA tournament. You know, this is the moment these kids have been dreaming for since they've been able to dribble a basketball. So it's cool for seeing them all to get in here late in the game.
This will probably be the last real possession. Timmy Falls goes to the rack. No, out of bounds off Michigan. So Montana will have it with 19 on the shot clock, 28 seconds remaining in the game. They get it in. Falls corner 3. That one is off the mark, but Castleton's going to get called for a foul.
Colin Castleton's another guy that very, very easily could have a big role for this Michigan basketball team next year. He's kind of thin. He's tall and lengthy right now. If Michigan puts some beef on him, he really could have a big role for this team next year. And that goes the same for Brandon Johns, a guy who's super athletic. He's a great ball handler. He's a great shooter. He just got to put some weight on him.
And now checking in for Michigan, I believe, is Luke Wilson. And out goes Colin Castleton. And the second free throw goes. So Montana gets up to 55 points on the game. Baird inbounds it in to David DeJulius. He'll dribble it up. 20 seconds left. Montana with this little 6-0 run over the last about minute 20 to close out the game. Luke Wilson will just hold the ball. 10 seconds remaining. Dribbling it, 5 seconds. The Michigan crowd all standing and cheering. And as the ball is stripped free by Montana, right as the horn sounds, and that'll do it. Our final score, Michigan 74, Montana 55. And the one thing you have to love about these tournament games is the same thing with Bradley earlier, is you have all the fans for the small team all standing and cheering as the game ends.
And like I just said, this is a program in Montana who's not recognizable, but they have one goal every year. You go out and win the Big Sky. And Michael Ogunye has been lead his team 2 years in a row. Zaire Pridgett, 2 years in a row. Timmy Falls, Ahmad Rory, who is a redshirt senior. This is his last game. He did a lot for this program. You have to tip your caps to these young gentlemen who go out and bust their butts every day and don't get recognized. They play this small-time basketball in the Big Sky, but it means a lot for the community and the college in Montana, and they really gave Michigan the last 2 years a tough run for their money.
Yep, and so the Montana Grizzlies will head back to Missoula at 26-9 on the season, concluding their 2018-19 campaign. Michigan advances to 29-6, and they will head on to the round of 32 to take on Florida in the 2-seed versus 10-seed matchup on Saturday. Michigan State will be here on Saturday playing Minnesota in a 2-seed versus 10-seed matchup. We will be here for those games. Not sure what time they will be, but it will be a fun afternoon. Got to think there'll be a lot of Minnesota fans there, and probably be a bit indifferent about the Michigan game. But
yeah, those are two games I'm very, very excited to watch. We talked about Michigan, Florida, two highly defensive IQ teams, two teams who play very aggressive. So that's going to be an awesome matchup. And then again, a Big Ten rematch between Minnesota and Michigan State. You know, it is what it is. Talk about the Big Ten playing each other in the second round, but you said they play one game this year. It's going to be very, very interesting to see.
Yeah, and that game was a blowout win in favor of MSU. Minnesota will be hungry in that one. Michigan will play Florida for the first time this season in the games on Saturday. Looks like John Teskey is getting interviewed by the TV crew, as is Xavier Simpson. And any last thoughts before we close this one up?
No, just a tough game for the Wolverines. Montana gave them everything they could, but it's really good to see one player step up, and that's Charles Matthews, a guy who really struggled offensively all throughout the Big Ten. Didn't seem like he had his full leaping ability, and today he showed that. He came back, he played well. It's very good to see Charles Matthews look full healthy.
Yeah, Matthews is interviewed as well, and he's heading into the locker room. It's been a long day at the stadium, about 13 hours here. 4 games on the day. A lot of fun. But the day has come to a close. We'll be back here on Saturday for WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan basketball. Once again, our final score, Michigan 74, Montana 55. From Nate Sorensen, Andy Laidlaw, I'm Alex Drain. Good night, and go blue from Des Moines.